Alright, we're going over essence bracing today. I just kind of started my day. I work really long hours, so I gotta catch up on sleep when I'm home. And well, I figured I'd do this example today in more of a double zero. This is my limitation is 2 cap locks. I've never done 3. I've tried for it, but we're gonna be going over essence bracing today, and that's what you do when you're trying to impact something. You're gonna build up all that essence in your arm, right, or your leg, anywhere on the body that's going to meet impact. And there's different types of essence bracing. There's different formulations for it. Essence bracing is just a broad term for any form of impact preparation in a specific typing is essence bracing. But essentially what you're doing is you're using red absolute essence, which is a derivative of essence that's mixed with a component of red absolute. And you're applying the essence movement in such a way whereas to amplify the target and kind of brace your appendage right into the target. What you're attempting to achieve is bolster damage diffraction, or not diffraction, but you're bolstering your body to prevent damage to your body. You're reinforcing your body. So yeah, I'm just gonna get right into it. I don't think that I'm going to get very far with this one. This is something that, again, it's my limit. It's something that I can only do when I'm in a very premium state. So right now I'm not in a premium state. I just pretty much just started my day. So I just want to showcase to you guys how you can apply 100% of your effort in a lesser than prime state and not injure yourself. And that's the purpose of essence bracing, is to reinforce yourself in a situation in which you know that you can't perform to the degree of demand that is needed in a moment. So we're going to start in a seated position. Usually it's a standing, but I'm tired, so I'm going to do a seated position, essence 2-3. Probably 3-2 actually. And I'm going to hold that in my core. Here we go. Alright. Now I've got that build where I want it. I'm going to send it into my arm. And I'm going to start to turn it into red absolute. There's a little bit of muscle flexion. So we've got it where we want it. It's going from the core to the arm. And a little bit in between here, but not really here. It's kind of skipping like it does usually. I'm holding it for a little bit too long here, but the essence movement is going to be right prior to the impact. And we only got 1 brick. We didn't get 2 because, again, 2 requires quite a bit of effort from me. And we did use the Kia to apply more force or intention, right? But we did not achieve our goal here. I'm not in it to win it right now. And honestly, that essence movement was a little bit displaced to the right, and the overall build here was not potent enough to meet the demand of the target, which, if you know that's going to be something that you're going to interact with, then you need to probably avoid the goal. Because if it's something that you don't feel that you can do, even with active state, and you're going into it anyway, you're going to incur damage. Not all the times, but most of the times. You kind of need to evaluate if you're going to be able to meet somewhere near or at the demand of the scenario. You don't want to fall short, and that's the reason why you get injured. Grounding is always better to do barefoot for some reason. So it's a little bit too much. That was almost a deep build, but yeah. There's the red absolute. Flexing without flexing, holding it. Wow, not enough. I also have never used this tool before. It's something I just put together. Usually I don't break half bricks. I've never broken a half brick. A half cap block. Okay, so we didn't do enough there. So what is base state versus active state? Right, so base state is your capability without any active state energy. And your active state is going to be any amplification of your base state. So the stronger your base state is, the stronger you are. But when you're using active state energy, you're not necessarily using all of your base state in application to that active state amplification. You're only really using 100% if like something that you're doing demands it, or if that's what you want to do. Wow, look at this beautiful moth. It's gorgeous. Sorry for the interruption, but that moth was gorgeous. Okay, so we didn't do enough just now, so we're gonna have to apply more. Obviously, more base state, more am state, however you want to look at it. In that last case, I held like a 3-3, and well, I kind of forced myself to go by the book on that one. That's not how I usually do bracing. I do 2 essence activations, one to kind of spur the energy inside of myself, and then another one at the impact point. So I'm just going to go with how I do things, and hopefully this will go a little bit better. I don't like that cap though. I need to like shim it in the front with something. I don't know what though. It doesn't matter for now. Just get this thing done here. Actually, I'll probably just yeah. I've never done this, so instead of injuring myself right now by applying too little force, I'm just gonna apply more force than I think is necessary. In this case, what I choose to do is not how things are usually done. I've already showcased the proper lineup of how to do bracing by the book, so just apply that to this next thing. And that's how essence bracing is done, but in the terms of what's on the page, the documentation, you don't want to do what I just did. That's a little bit different than things are usually done. That would be surprising. No way, it's too small. The movements that I'm doing are nothing other than a type of spurring. So you're priming your body in that movement, in the normal movement, and then you're sending the energy through that second movement. Priming the body is what's most important here. You want to surge all that energy up to that peak, hold it, and then do that movement. You don't want to buckle or fold. You don't want to go to that peak and then kind of like buckle down here and then go through with it. If that's what happens, then just stop doing it. Also, in the concurrent, in like the continuation of the action, you want to hold that solidity in the strike. You don't want to activate, become rigid with that red absolute, and then soften into the blow. You're gonna break your hand like that. Keep that solidity, that flexion, right? And that's the whole basis of bracing. You're loose, you're like calm, all the way up until right before the impact. And you're churning all that energy into strength right before the impact. Let's see if I can get a slow one here. It's my ankle. sending it all down into my arm. All right here. I'm not going with more than grade 3. I'm just going with grade 3 because that's easiest for me. There's no real reason to focus everything into just, you know, grade 1 or something like that, because I'm not applying just that. I'm applying everything. That's training for some other day. Intolerance is building up. It's getting harder for me to hold the energy. At this point, I'm using Sorpu in my lower core for stability. Nope. Kind of a wacky setup, this thing. It's too loose. It's too lightweight anyway. I gotta start all over again. And let's let it be known that I'm, actually I'll use an example here. I don't usually, in all the exemplification videos, I think I've kind of been too focused on the thing at hand. Generally speaking, in the videos so far anyway, I do exactly what is the subject at hand. But so I'm highly limiting myself to the expectations of the subject in focus. And if I bound myself to those standards, then it becomes difficult to succeed at these actions with such simple formulations and low levels of energy. Depthism is meant to showcase like on and off switches of extreme potency in a person, and you want to be able to apply anything at any time. You want to be able to achieve the energy demand of whatever situation you're in instantaneously, then turn it off. Sorpu is the grounding of the body's core, lower core. You're basically just generating an essence build in the lower core here in this area, no higher than the waist. You're just holding it, and usually it's in more of a horse stance, you know, and it's just the pure generation refinement of essence in your lower core. It's gonna sit in your hamstrings and in your lower legs, like right around the ankles. And it's just gonna persist there, and you don't feel much of essence in your upper torso. It's mostly in your lower torso that it sits. And if you're doing things like that, you're mostly focused on things relating to your legs. It's kind of a different state of being in that, like, it's just you holster the energy differently. It kind of changes the way you think about things. So here's Sorpu right here. It's gonna make your legs shake.